Greetings from Tokyo. My name is Daisuke Beppu. How are you doing today, my friends? Today, I'd like to talk to you about a number of topics, mainly about the recent announcement regarding the December 2018 releases from the Criterion Collection. So as some of you may know, the Criterion Collection recently made an announcement regarding the releases that are planned for the month of December in the year 2018. Now, there were 4 planned releases, which is very exciting. And if you don't mind, just really briefly, I'd like to talk to you about what they are and what my reactions are to this announcement. So the first announcement is an upgrade, really. It's regarding spine number 412, which is the film Sawdust and Tinsel. This is a film that is directed by Mr. Ingmar Bergman. Now, what I'm holding in my hand here is the DVD, because as of this current moment in time, this film in the Criterion Collection is offered only on a DVD. And here is the DVD as it appears in the case. So that's very nice. But the announcement is that this is going to be also be offered as a Blu-ray, which is really very interesting. So the Blu-ray is a new 2K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack. And then also there will be on the Blu-ray the audio commentary by Peter Cowie, which also appears on this DVD. There's also an introduction, video introduction by Ingmar Bergman from 2003, which is also on this DVD. And also there's an essay by critic John Simon, which is also on this DVD. However, according to the press release from the Criterion Collection, there is another, I guess it's an appreciation by filmmaker Catherine Breillat, which appears only on the DVD. So that appreciation by filmmaker Catherine Breillat does not seem to appear on the Blu-ray. So that might be something of interest for those of you who are ultra-completists with respect to the Criterion Collection and its supplements. Anyway, we shall see what the actual Blu-ray has in store if it actually does not include that appreciation. Okay, so this is a very good thing, the upgrade to Blu-ray of an Ingmar Bergman film, Sawdust and Tinsel. The timing might be a little bit interesting for some of you because, as some of you may know, in November of this year, the Ingmar Bergman box set is going to be released by Criterion. So that might, how should I put it? If those of you, if you're interested in getting the box set, chances are you're probably not interested in getting the additional Blu-ray of Sawdust and Tinsel. Vice versa, if you're interested in getting only the individual releases, probably this December announcement regarding the announcement regarding the December release of Sawdust and Tinsel on Blu-ray might be of interest to you, whereas the box set that is going to be released in November might not be of interest to you. Either way, I think it's a very good situation to be in. So that is Sawdust and Tinsel. It's really quite a remarkable film. I should speak about it one of these days in terms of its substance, because I really admire that film very much indeed. Okay, so the next scheduled release is going to be a film that has hitherto not been released in the Criterion Collection. So this is very exciting to me. So this is the film called A Dry White Season. This is from 1989. 1989. Now, this is a very, very interesting film indeed, and I'll tell you why in a second. But just really quickly, the filmmaker's name, the director's name is Yuzan Palsi. Okay, so it's Yuzan Palsi. So it's a female director, for those of you who don't know. And this is quite it's a critical film with respect to South African history and apartheid. So for that reason alone, I think it's going to be a remarkable release, that's for sure. It's based on a novel by Andre Brink. And actually, I've read the novel quite a while back when I was in college, but I have not seen this film adaptation. So I am actually incredibly curious, and I'm so interested in watching this film. I actually can't wait to see this film. This is, for me, I think, one of the one of the more exciting announcements I've heard in a year of exciting announcements. Anyway, the release is going to include a new 4K digital restoration with uncompressed stereo soundtrack for the Blu-ray. There's also an interview with director Yuzan Palsi, and there's also a new program called 5 Scenes featuring the director. There's an interview from 1989 with the actor Donald Sutherland. There's also an excerpt from a 1995 interview Palsi conducted with Nelson Mandela. There's footage of Palsi receiving the highest distinction for foreign dignitaries at the 2017 South African National Orders Awards. And also there's an essay by filmmaker and scholar Jyoti Mistry. This is going to be fantastic. As I say, I read the novel when I was in college, but I never had the opportunity to see this film. And so I am looking forward to this film very much. The story, as I recall from reading the novel, is quite an intense and a bit of a disturbing tale in many respects. So I wouldn't expect a very easy watch. And I don't think I should expect such an easy watch, because it is a very tough and quite an important subject matter. So I'm looking forward to this very much. Next, spy number 954, 40 Guns. The Western, the wild, crazy Western by Samuel Fuller. This is I would say, a wacky masterpiece. Some of you may know that the film 40 Guns has already been released on a stellar release. It's a Region B, UK release from Masters of Cinema, and it's a wonderful film. It's a great Western. It's just Samuel Fuller at his finest, and it has the beautiful and charming and just wonderful Barbara Stanwyck. And so this is going to be a fine release. And yes, to have more Samuel Fuller films is always welcome. To have more Westerns in the Criterion Collection is always welcome. And to have more Barbara Stanwyck films in the Criterion Collection is always welcome. So you have the wonderful triumvirate right there, as far as I'm concerned. So this is wonderful. The features also are really interesting too. It has, of course, the 4K digital restoration with uncompressed monorail soundtrack for the Blu-ray. There's also a new interview with director Samuel Fuller's widow, Krista Lang Fuller, and daughter, Samantha Fuller. There's also the documentary, A Fuller Life, which is a really great, this is a great supplement. This is going to be a wonderful documentary. This is a documentary by Samantha Fuller, the daughter of Sam Fuller, and featuring admirers and collaborators, Wim Wenders, William Friedkin, Mark Hamill, James Franco, Monty Hellman, Jennifer Beals, Bill Duke, Constance Towers, and others. This is going to be fantastic. I've never seen this documentary, A Fuller Life, but I've heard so many great things about it. So to get this 40 Guns release is worth it, if it, for the documentary alone, not to mention the fact that the film is just absolutely stellar. So this is going to be a packed release. fantastic. This is fantastic. There's also a new interview with critic Imogen Sarah Smith, author of In Lonely Places, Film Noir Beyond the City, and Stills Gallery, plus an essay by film scholar Lisa Dombrowski and excerpts from Fuller's 2002 autobiography, A Third Face, My Tale of Writing, Fighting, and Filmmaking. So Sam Fuller's 40 Guns from 1957. This really is making me very happy. Incidentally, this is the Masters of Cinema release. This is the dual format edition, so it has a Blu-ray and the DVD. This is quite a wonderful release with some really wonderful, wonderful supplements in there. But the Criterion Collection planned release of this film, my goodness, this is going to be quite a wonderful release indeed, and it's going to give the Eureka Masters of Cinema release a run for its money, I should suspect. Anyway, 40 Guns. Spine 955, Panique. This is from 1946, directed by Julien Duvivier. This is going to be out of this world. I have not seen this film, Panique. I have heard things about it, of course, but I am not the best expert when it comes to early 20th century French cinema. But I do know Julien Duvivier from my very basic exposure to his films from the Criterion Collection, but Panique is one I've never seen, but it sounds like it's going to be a great noir murder mystery thriller. Oh, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. So this is going to have a new 2K digital restoration with uncompressed monaural soundtrack on the Blu-ray, and a new documentary by Bruce Goldstein, founder and co-president of Rialto Pictures, called The Art of Subtitling, about the history of subtitles. Now this sounds very interesting. I don't know what that means, but of course subtitling is a very interesting art in and of itself. So if it's what the title suggests it's going to be about, then this should be a very interesting and illuminating documentary indeed. Next, there is a new interview with author Pierre Simenon, the son of novelist Georges Simenon, and conversation from 2015 between critics Gilmette Odissino and Eric Libiot about director Julien Duvivier and the film's production history. Also, there's a Rialto Pictures re-release trailer and new English subtitle translation, plus essays by film scholar James Quant and Lenny Bourget. So this should be very interesting indeed. I am looking forward to Panique very much. As I say, it's a film that I have not seen, and so I don't know what to expect. This should be quite an interesting treat and time for the holidays in December. And it's a short film too. It's only 98 minutes, so it looks like it's going to be just a dark, moody thriller film. And that's what better way to spend your holiday time than with a dark, moody thriller film. Am I right, or am I right? So this is going to be a fine release indeed. So Panique, the planned release for Spine number 955, Criterion Collection. Well done, Criterion Collection. You have piqued my interest, as always, and just well done. And my hat off to you for a wonderful finish to a stellar 2018. So this is the Criterion Collection teaching me more about cinema and just pointing me into these directions, which I would probably not have gone in had it not been for the Criterion Collection's December 2018 releases. So my gratitude, my deep gratitude as always to you, Mr. Criterion, for showing me yet more avenues of great cinema. Next, I'd like to take this opportunity to just address a few comments and yes, a few comments that I've been receiving lately from some viewers. I've received a lot of great comments from a lot of viewers, so thank you very much. And I've also been receiving a lot of new comments from new viewers. I think there have been new subscribers to this channel, and so I would like to thank you so much for your engagement and for, I guess most importantly, just for your time. I know that we all have busy lives and we all have busy schedules, and the fact that you take the time, even if it's just for a minute or 30 seconds or so, to watch the video or to leave a comment, it means so much. It really means so much. And I'm just so, how should I put it? I get nervous sometimes because I'm always afraid that I won't be able to satisfactorily answer your questions to a degree that would satisfy you. So I'm always trying to be as thorough with my comments as possible. But if at any time you think that I am not so thorough, it's just an indication of really my shallow knowledge when it comes to cinema. So I think, if anything, I learn from you guys on a daily basis and kind of exponentially as my exploits on this YouTube channel continue. So thank you very much. But I would like to just take a few moments now to just mention a few things. So first of all, I'd like to give a really important shout out to my dear friend, Mr. Elliot Coen. Now, I think Elliot Coen has a really strong supporter base and fan base. I think much larger than my own viewership. So I don't think he needs my endorsement at all. I think, on the contrary, I think he's doing quite fine without my endorsement. But he very kindly allowed me to mention his name and his channel, and I'd like to take the opportunity here just to say how much I love his film channel. I think he's got a great sense of style and presentation skill, and he has a real good taste in cinema. He talks about Criterions. He talks also about arrows. He had a great video, I think he put up a few hours ago, about his top 5 favorite arrow releases. And I was watching that, and my goodness, each one of those is just a home run. It's a wonderful, each one is a wonderful example of the arrow label. And so I encourage you to check out his channel, Elliot Coen. He has a really wonderful channel, so check it out, please, and leave comments and subscribe to his channel because it's really worth it. I love his background, by the way. He has his Blu-rays all arranged in these wonderful, neatly assorted shelves. And he has a nice presentation so, you know, he does that thing where he edits in a way where his body is on one side of the frame and then it cuts, and then he's on the other side of the frame and it cuts back, and it sort of gives the viewer something to think about, so we don't how do I put it? It keeps us visually interested, so to speak. So that's a really nice touch. So he's a very clever and acute presenter of great content, Mr. Elliot Coen is. So please check out his wonderful channel. Next, I want to just answer a question that was posed to me by a really nice viewer whose name is FilmStreetCinema. So FilmStreetCinema, this is your YouTube name. So hello, and we've spoken a lot before, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank you so much for your questions and your great comments. I think you asked a really great question the other day, and you're asking me about what I thought were some films that I really liked from the last 5 years. And so that means, from my calculation, so now it's 2018, so the last 5 years would be from 2013 on. Okay. So what are some films that I really like from the last 5 years? I should preface this comment by saying that, as some of you may know, I am not the best person in the world when it comes to watching recent releases. In fact, I don't go out to the cinema as much as I would like to, because I have certain other commitments that that occupy my time to the extent that I'm not able to go to the cinema on a regular basis. And so I don't watch recent releases as much as I would like. But I do get around to watching a few when I have the chance. So I guess some films from the last 5 years that come to mind immediately are, for example, I think Before Midnight and Boyhood. So those two Richard Linklater films, I think, are really quite moving and powerful. And especially Before Midnight, I find that film to be incredibly unnerving and quite disturbing. I think the first half is a little bit weak, but the second half it more than makes up for its slightly weaker first half. And you've got all sorts of fireworks going on in the second half, which is just an amazing kind of 30-minute chunk of a scene, which is just as intense as any in Richard Linklater's canon. So Before Midnight, and Grand Budapest Hotel. I really find that film to be incredibly inventive and quite moving. Perhaps I would even go so far to say that it is my favorite film directed by Mr. Wes Anderson. So Grand Budapest Hotel, yes. Of course, The Assassin by Ho Xiaoxian. Have you seen this film? Oh, this is a great film. I saw this film 3 times. I really should own that. I think it's on a Blu-ray, is it not? I really should get a hold of that. I really love that film, The Assassin. And also, oh yes, of course, Shin Godzilla. So Shin Gojira. So this is a really great Godzilla film. I was so surprised how much I was taken by it. It quite possibly could be my favorite Godzilla film. Shin Gojira or Shin Godzilla. What a fantastic film. And also there's the film Zootopia, the animated film Zootopia. I really like that film very much. I like that it has a little bit of a mystery element to it. There's a bit of a noir mystery element, and it has a nice lesson at its core for little kids. And so I saw that with my daughter in the theater, and I really enjoyed that film. I was quite moved by certain scenes in that film. Zootopia, yes. And of course, I should mention one more. Oh, The Hateful Eight, the Quentin Tarantino film. I'm not sure if it's as well liked as his other films, but I love that film. I love its inventiveness and its audacity. I kind of like the locked room mystery appeal and tone of the film. I'm a big fan of mystery thrillers and Agatha Christie, and it has that kind of Agatha Christie vibe to it, which is fascinating. And the Samuel L. Jackson character is almost like a detective. He's like Miss Marple or Hercule Poirot in a sense. He has methods that I think are quite different, methods of deduction that I think are quite different and drastically different than, say, Hercule Poirot. But I think I hope you're getting the gist of what I'm saying. Anyway, The Hateful Eight, yes. Well, okay, I think I'll leave it at that. So those are just a couple examples of films that I've liked from the last 5 years. So Film Street Cinema. So thank you very much for your question, and I hope you are well, and I look forward to our continuing conversations. Oh, and next I'd like to give a quick shout out to a viewer whose name is Mr. David Harrington. Now, David Harrington in particular, I want just to let you know that upon your recommendation, I did see the episode from season 1, is it? Called Walking Distance. Now, I have this set, which is the Twilight Zone Blu-ray set, which is the complete series, the original series. But I haven't seen all of the Twilight Zone episodes. I've seen a bunch, but I haven't seen all of them. One of these days I should just do a marathon and watch all of the episodes, the Twilight Zone. But I haven't seen all of them. And when I read David Harrington's comment about the episode called Walking Distance, I didn't know of it, or as I thought I didn't. But when I put it into the player and I watched it, I realized that, yes, I had seen the episode before, Walking Distance. But to be perfectly honest, I had never really given it much thought. So I took it upon myself to put it in and watch it. My goodness, it is incredibly moving, and it's so packed, filled with so many just deep ideas, and well executed within this time frame of less than 30 minutes. It's just an amazing work. Thank you very much, David. And that led me to put a post on Facebook and just talking about the Twilight Zone, that episode, and many people started to come to me and ask and mention all these other great episodes from the Twilight Zone. And I just love the series. When I was a little kid, I saw the episode To Serve Man. And I don't think I was, I think I was a changed little boy. I think once that was over, I wasn't the same. It really freaked me out. And there are other ones that freaked me out here. 22. You know that one? You know what I'm talking about? There's a particular line that's said. Oh, I'm thinking about it now, and it's just so chilling. Oh my goodness. Mirror Image, and The Monsters Are Due on Maple Street. Oh my goodness. And The After Hours. Oh. And oh gosh, what's The Midnight Sun? Oh, that's a great one, The Midnight Sun. And also the Will the Real Martian Please Stand Up? Oh, and The Eye of the Beholder. Yeah. And I think I'm probably gonna be a little bit, well, I think I'm going to go with the flow and just say probably my favorite episode is going to be either The Hitchhiker or Time Enough at Last. I mean, those are the classics, are they not? The Invaders also. I think The Invaders is one of the great classics, and it's ingeniously shot. It's like a little film. Wonderful. Anyway, I'm sorry, I don't want to keep you, but this is dedicated to Mr. David Harrington. I just want to say thank you so much for your exquisitely written comment. You have such a wonderful writing style, and you please write more, because I could just read your comments all day. And if you have more recommendations for any films and Twilight Zone episodes and anything else, I'd love to hear it. And also, if you have any other stories about your own collection and your own collecting past, I'd love to hear it. I know that you were sharing some details about Disney films and about Hitchcock, as well as the Criterion collection. But I really love your comments, David, and the fact that you brought or helped me to revisit Walking Distance again after so many years is a real treat and a thrill, and it's my privilege to say thank you to you, Mr. David Harrington. Okay, so let me just leave it at that. So thank you very much for your time. I'm sorry for keeping you. I hope it wasn't too long, and I hope to see you again very soon. So please watch a lot of great films, and please be happy and healthy. And I hope all of you are well and have a wonderful rest of your week. Anyway, thank you and take care.